Welcome, welcome for another session for Control System Lab. So, in previous session, we discussed about experiment number 6, that was study of DC servo motor. Today we are going to learn about another experiment, that is experiment number 7 for to study of AC servo motor. Let us see what are learning objectives. The first one, to study AC servo motor and its working. To understand application of AC servo motor, right? What are learning outcomes? You will able to discuss AC servo motor and you will be able to operate AC servo motor in laboratory, right? What are equipments required? Of course, as usual, there is AC servo motor kit in control system lab and you require few more connecting probes. This is circuit diagram for AC servo motor. We are knowing it is having two windings. One is control winding, another it is reference winding. Okay, and DC tacho generator to the right hand side you can see with 12 voltage DC supply. Okay, this is pictorial view for this kit, that is study of AC servo motor. Okay, now see students, an AC servo motor is basically a two-phase induction motor except for certain special design features. A two-phase induction motor consisting of two stator windings oriented 90 degrees electrical apart in space and excited by AC voltages, which differ in time phase by 90 degrees. Generally, voltages of equal magnitude and 90 degrees phase difference are applied to two stator phases, thus making their respective fields 90 degrees apart in both time and space at synchronous speed. As the field sweeps over the rotor, voltages are induced in it, producing current in short-circuited rotor in the direction of field rotation. The shape of the characteristics depends on the ratio of rotor reactance X to the rotor resistance R. In normal induction motors, X by R ratio is generally kept high so as to obtain maximum torque close to the operating region, which is usually around 5% slip, right? An AC servo motor is a squirrel cage or drug cup type induction motor. AC motors are generally two-phase type for power applications and of three-phase type where large power is essential. Now in this diagram you can see two-phase induction motor as shown here. For this also you can observe this diagram on the laboratory kit. One of the input windings is excited by fixed line voltage and it is termed as reference winding. You can observe here the reference winding which is excited by fixed AC supply. The second winding is placed in quadrature with the first one. You can observe here, and it is connected to the control voltage from the source via servo amplifier, and that winding is known as what? Control winding. The reference winding is usually fed with a voltage having an approximate phase shift of 90 degree with respect to the control voltage. The voltages applied to the windings are not balanced. The direction of rotation of the motor reverses when the control phase voltage and hence the voltage signal input of the servo amplifier changes the sign. Here it is stated how we can reverse the direction of rotation of AC servo motor. It may ask in your Viva question. Now about speed torque characteristics. We know speed torque characteristics for conventional induction motor. where we can see that the X by R ratio of servo motor is usually small compared to the conventional induction motor. Okay. So for conventional motor, the stable operation can only occur when the speed lies between two speeds, that is omega and omega 1, that we already know from the speed torque characteristics of the conventional induction motor. For stability, it is essential that the ratio of delta T by delta omega should be negative for all control voltages. Hence, to increase the stable zone, it is essential to construct a motor having X by R ratio that is small enough for utilization as an AC servo motor. Okay. For induction motor, we know that this ratio, X by R ratio, is kept high. But when we want to apply the induction motor as an AC servo motor, you have to keep this ratio X by R small. Okay. So this was some information related with AC servo motor. Let us see procedure. First, we are going to plot speed torque characteristics for AC servo motor. For that, study all the control carefully on the front panel. Again, I would like to say here that all these the points which are given in procedure, it will be cleared when we when you observe or you watch another clip where we try to conduct experiment in laboratory. So by watching that clip carefully, you can easily understand this procedure, right? So time being, just understand that what exactly we are going to do in laboratory. So for plotting the speed torque characteristics or for understanding speed torque characteristics for AC servo motor, what you have to do, study all the control carefully on the front panel. Now keep the switch SW2 in upward position, indicating that the armature circuit of DC machine, that is IA, is not connected to auxiliary power supply 12 volts which is given to the tacho generator. Switch SW1 should also be in off position. There are two switches mounted on the kit. So what you have to do for SW2, it should be kept upward position, and SW1, it is in off position. Now next is ensure speed control port and load control port are in fully anti-clockwise position. On this kit, you observe there are number of control ports. Okay, so that's why in first step it is said that study all the control carefully on the front panel. So when we consider for the speed control port and load control port, we have to keep them in fully anti-clockwise position. And also from the name itself, one can understand that what they are going to perform on the kit, that is speed control port. So by controlling this port, we are going to control speed of the motor. And for load control port, by controlling this port, we are going to control load on the motor, right? Now after that, make power switch on. So after adjusting all the control ports as said in procedure, now you are in position to switch on the supply, right? Again here there is a switch called cal. So what you have to do, again there is a one switch you can observe, cal read switch. Okay, so for that, put calibration switch on cal position and adjust calibration port to display 500 rpm on rpm meter. Again we are going to adjust the speed to the 500 rpm by adjusting this cal position. Okay, then throw back calibration to read position to read speed of the motor. As said here, do not disturb calibration port throughout the experiment. So once we have calibrated the speed to the 500 rpm, don't disturb that calibration pot. Okay. Then make switch SW1 on. Now we have to switch on SW1. As soon as we switch on this SW1 switch, AC motor will start rotating and the speed will be indicated by the meter on the front panel. Right? With SW2 in off condition, vary the speed of the AC servo motor by moving P1 in clockwise direction and note the EMF generated by the DC machine across test point TP3. All these points are marked on the kit. This working as a DC generator or tacho generator. Okay. After that, enter the results in table number 1. Use a DC voltmeter in the range of 0 to 10 volts. After noting these results, you have to plot the graph of EB against speed RPM. Use this graph for taking EB values of corresponding speed as required for table number 2. So you have to use the values entered in table number 1. Okay. For finding or for taking EB values of corresponding speed which are required in table number 2. After that, switch SW2 in off condition. Switch on SW1 and keep the speed adjustment pot meter in minimum position. Speed adjustment pot is there on the kit. So you have to keep that speed adjustment pot meter in minimum position. Observe that the AC servo motor starts moving with speed being indicated by the RPM indicator. You have to note down those readings. Okay. You can measure the reference winding voltage and control winding voltage which is variable. Reference winding voltage which is fixed, nearly it is at 50 volts AC. Note down the corresponding values of armature current and speed and enter these values in table 2. Right? After that, make SW2 switch on. Previously it was kept off. Now here you have to make SW2 switch on and slowly load the AC servo motor by varying load control pot. There is also load control pot. So what you have to do? You have to vary that load slowly to the AC servo motor by varying load control pot. And similarly note the observations, these observations in observation table number 2. After that, plot the speed torque characteristics for various values of control winding voltages and study their nature. Okay, again here there are 2 observations tables. From these observation tables you have to plot different characteristics. Okay, and then you have to study their nature. Observation table number 1, that is speed and back EMF. So we have noted speed as well as back EMF. Correct? Then for table number 2, that is speed torque characteristics. To plot speed torque characteristics, we are having number of measurements. Like here IA, first we are going to measure armature current IA, then speed which is in RPM. You observe here speed somewhat it is decreasing because of we are increasing load by load control pot. Then EB, the readings of the EB we have taken from the previous table. And then from these readings from IA, NA and EB, you have to calculate power P and torque. You are knowing the formula for calculating power P and torque, right? So torque can be calculated by this formula as P into 1.09 into 10 to the power 4 into 60 by 2 pi n. Put all the values here and then find out the value for torque. Okay. So thus AC servo motor is studied for its speed torque characteristics. Okay. Nature of these characteristics have been given in your manual. You can study them, understand them, and if you are having any kind of difficulty, you can discuss during our discussion session. Right? Let us move further for Viva questions. These are important Viva questions. Again, you have to write down the short answers in your manual and you have to submit them. Okay. So first question is what? Which are the requirements of good servo motor? Then give classification of servo motor. We know classification AC servo motor and DC servo motor. You have to write in brief. Then explain principle of operation of AC servo motor. As we used to say that this AC servo motor is similar to your two-phase induction motor. Only difference is that we know that for induction motor we have to keep the ratio, that is reactance of the rotor and resistance of the rotor, X by R. It should be kept high. But when it is used as an AC servo motor, for stable operation we have to keep this ratio X by R small. Right? That we already discussed. So what is the operating principle of AC servo motor, or explain principle of operation of AC servo motor? One and the same. You have to write down any answer for any one question, that is explain and what is operating principle, one and the same. Either or you can select. How many types of rotor are available in case of AC servo motor? Here we found that squirrel cage or drug cup type rotor construction used for AC servo motor. Here you have to mention that how many types of rotor are available in case of AC servo motor. Okay. And then what are the applications of AC servo motor? You have to write down for applications of AC servo motor. Of course, AC servo motor, these are used for AC position system. If I want to maintain if I want to maintain the position of the load to the particular or specified place, we have seen for the experiment, that is AC position control system and also DC position control system. There we have seen gear mechanism, we have seen potentiometer as an error detector, and also how the load can be placed to its exact position where it is required by minimizing the error generated, and that error can be observed from, that is potentiometer as an error detector, right? So these are few questions on this experiment. You have to write down short answers for these questions and submit. Okay. Still, if you are having any kind of difficulty, you are free to ask during discussion session. Right? So this was about experiments, that is DC servo motor and AC servo motor. Let us quickly revise about this AC servo motor. What we have said, that in an AC servo motor is a squirrel cage or drug cup induction motor. AC motors are generally two-phase type for power supply applications and are of three-phase types where large power is essential. Here we have seen that for AC servo motor, two windings are important. One, it is reference winding, and another, it is control winding. Reference winding, it is supplied by the fixed AC voltage supply. Here we kept that voltage as 50 volts AC. And control winding is excited from the signal that is obtained from servo amplifier. Of course, AC signal. Okay. Then what we have seen, that these two windings, these are placed in quadrature with each other. Okay. The reference winding, it is usually fed with voltage having an approximate phase shift of 90 degree with respect to control voltage. Note down, the voltages are applied here to both windings are not balanced. Okay, this is one of the important point I am going to repeat. In the beginning of the experiment, during the for the discussion of this same experiment, I told you that how one can reverse the rotation of the AC servo motor. So while summarizing for today's session, I am going to again repeat the same point. It is important from your Viva examination or external examination. So what is that? The direction of rotation of the motor reverses when the control phase voltage and hence the voltage signal input of the servo amplifier changes sign. Okay, that means the rotation of the AC servo motor can be reversed. Direction of that rotation can be reversed by changing the voltage signal input of the servo amplifier, changing the sign of the voltage input signal to the servo amplifier. Okay, so that is one of the important point I have repeated. Hope you have understood today's session. So I think here we can stop. I say thank you, and in upcoming session we are going to learn about how MATLAB is useful to understand control system engineering, specifically for understanding time response analysis, for understanding root locus construction and Bode plot. For that we are going to understand what is control system toolbox, which is really helpful to understand control system engineering, not only understanding purpose but for also analyzing purpose. Okay, so these will be discussed in upcoming sessions. So right now, thank you to all.